Hello everyone. It's James again. And today I wanted to drop a movie review. Something a little different than the normal content I share. But I think at the same time, the subject matter of this movie review fits right in with what we talk about here. Such as narcissism. Evil people we run into that have this problem. Dealing with narcissist parents or a parent. And the damage they can and do cause to our lives. And how to rise above these problems. And so on. First I want to say, I only have one minor spoiler. No, I'm not going to tell you how the movie ends. Or big details like that. But there is one thing that I will be talking at least around about it that makes sense. Without giving too much away. For the sake of those that want to go see this movie. But being able to talk about the subject matter at hand. Which is hypergamy and narcissistic mothers. But before we get into that part of the topic, I do want to say the movie was really good. If you liked the first Creed movie, you will like this one. The storyline is good. The feel-good moments are good. The serious moments and the drama are good. And the action sequences are good. So all around a good movie. They did great things with the characters and more than likely this will be a growing franchise. So thumbs up across the board for me. And I'm pretty sure you will enjoy it as well. But the one thing these types of movies give are life lessons. You see, there are movies out there that try to introduce you into a new way of thinking. Such as getting people ready and used to the idea of robot humans walking amongst us. Which I will talk about in a minute. Because the trailers before the movie are really telling. But you have movies that try to push an agenda onto the people at large. And then there are movies that take things the masses are going through and the masses can identify with and put these things in such movies. Because they know there are a lot of people that can identify with what is going on. Because they are living in it. And because of that, such movies are successful. Kind of like how a stand-up comic will get a big laugh by telling a sad joke about something horrible we are all going through. It's funny but at the same time sad. And we can all get it because it's the norm of our society. Well, in movies like this, there are oftentimes heart-touching moments. Or sad moments because many of us have found ourselves in such situations. Because they are the norm of many of our lives. And this sad thing you see in this film. And here's the small spoiler. So if you don't want to hear it, stop now. But again, I'm not going to say anything about how the movie ends. Or major parts. But what we are talking about, which is hypergamy and narcissistic mothers. So as many of you know, this is a movie about how Apollo Creed's son from the Rocky franchise is challenged by the son of the Russian man that killed his father in the ring in Rocky IV. But what this movie shows is we are unaware of what this man in Russia lost so many years ago when he lost that match to Rocky after Apollo was killed. And one of the things he lost was his wife. His wife was played and is played again in this movie by the actress Brigitte Nielsen. Simply put, after Ivan Drago lost so many years ago to Rocky, his country turned on him. To the point he and his son live in poverty. And his wife left him as a result. And you get to see how that plays out and the different twists and turns that dynamic takes. But you also get to see the pain it causes in their child. You see, as I've said before, narcissism knows no gender. There are many evil narcissistic fathers out there. But our society doesn't celebrate these men. If they choose to leave their family and not raising their children with love and help, we call them deadbeat dads. But when a mother leaves her family, we call it her right to change her mind. And we accept it as a part of our normal society. Now, though it's not said, it's clear why she left this man. Because he had nothing more to offer and was forced into poverty. So she not only walked away from her husband but her child as well. Why? Because there was nothing to gain from keeping the child except responsibility. Which is something narcissists can't stand. and in this case the narcissist mother wanted no part of. However, what if Ivan Drago lost that fight many years ago? But wasn't from a communist country and had his own money and was still wealthy. And then his country turned on him. Would the wife still have left? You betcha she would have. But the only difference is she would have tried to gain custody of a child she doesn't love only to get the husband's money. Now this movie does have balance. Adonis Creed's wife is just as loving and decent as Rocky's wife Adrienne. But one thing you get from watching this and the other movies is they are rare like a ruby. Rocky's wife was rare. And as I mentioned, certain movies like this put elements of what people are going through because they know many can identify. Most men see these movies and dream of an Adrienne or Bianca because these types of women are hard to find and are rare. Now that's not to say there aren't dirtbag men out there, because there are. However, society. Listen to me carefully. Our society promotes and pushes and encourages women to do evil against their men. And because of that it becomes even more difficult for a man to find a decent woman, as the Bible tells us over and over and over again. I say that because you good set apart women. When you watch this movie, it will tell you a lot about what many of these men on YouTube have been talking about in regards to MGTOW and men's rights. And to understand, just because you are good doesn't mean that there aren't billions of evil women out there. And they aren't evil just for no reason. It's because of years and years and years of brainwashing of our society to be that way. But with that said, pain on the child is the end result. Because when a mother gains custody, which often happens, and she really only did it for the money, the child will figure it out sooner or later and understand he or she was never loved. And the ones that see there's no benefit for them to keep their own child and they walk away from them. The trauma happens right on the spot and it's hard for a child to shake, and it sadly becomes a part of who they are. And I think you would see more of this if child support was restricted to smaller and more reasonable amounts. And or taken away and both the mother and father were made to take equal responsibility. I think if something like that were passed overnight, you would see millions of mothers abandoning their children at the mall, at the bus stop, on the doorsteps of strangers' houses. Because their money is gone and that's all the child was to them. Was just a check. Now again, are there some good mothers out there? Good mothers that have gotten a bad deal from narcissist men? Yes. But we have a name for those men. Deadbeat dads. And with that, we have to ask ourselves, why aren't we holding women to the same standard? Why are they allowed to destroy their children's lives and keep their standing as a good mother? With that said, the movie was really good and I would say it's worth a watch. But if you choose to watch it, look at these things and see and understand. This is what is happening in our society right now. And if you are a good woman, don't take it the wrong way when men are upset at the direction of society. They aren't upset at you. They are just upset about what is being promoted as the norm in our society, which is the destruction of the masculine male and the children so they can be easily indoctrinated. We can't keep encouraging this. It's okay for a woman to hop from man to man as it suits her needs, which is hypergamy. Because if she would have moved into the poor neighborhood with her husband and son, he still could have been a great champion. But he would be pushed by love. Love to have a better life for he and his parents, instead of being pushed by hatred of his mother that abandoned him and his father. And I know you good women think in a way where you love your children and care. But sadly most, not all, but most of the women in our society don't think like you do. With that said, enjoy the movie. And comment below. Tell me what you think. Oh, and I almost forgot. The trailers. Out of the many movie trailers played before the movie, there was one movie trailer that showed a masculine male. The rest, and I do mean the rest of the movie trailers, had the woman taking over superhero type theme. And one of those was a woman that's a robot. So you can see the agenda they are pushing on us all. Well, that's all I have for now. I hope your day is blessed. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.